Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Lodgify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.
Hey everyone, I was hoping to get this message put together sooner, but things like this unfortunately take time to set up. I just want to say that the acts of war against Ukraine break my heart, and I know as a prior service member myself that my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who's fighting the fight that they really shouldn't have to. That being said, we have been working behind the scenes with all of our podcasts and podcast partners to put a fund together in order to pay for any refugee housing and other needs that go alongside that, like food, water, and any clothing needs. Internally, many podcasts in the Hospitality FM network have voluntarily given up sponsorship money in order to donate to the cause and are working on a unified message in order to spread throughout all of our podcasts. So this is me calling out to all of our property manager friends, industry experts, and anyone knowing of those providing lodging for Ukrainian refugees seeking safety. You can contact me directly at will with one L, WIL at slicktalkmedia.com. We have an internal document that is being updated in real time. So if anyone could share this message within your network, we'd greatly appreciate it. I'm also placing in the show notes a link to our GoFundMe and landing page for Rentals to Rescue. That's rentalstorescue.com, where we're putting funds together in order to, again, provide finances for any of these lodging and relocation needs. So thank you so much for tuning into this quick message. I hope you guys are all well and safe, as I know we have tons of listeners in Ukraine and other countries in Europe. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Good morning, hospitality. How are you guys doing?
Good morning. You sound like
Happy
an
Monday,
award winner.
best day of the week. I am so well rested. I got like 9 hours of sleep last night.
Me too. You can see like sharp. You have a good color in your face, Michael. I think you have a good rest. You will? Yeah, you slept a bit?
Well, you look pretty rough.
Yeah, just a couple delays in our flight last night, so I love it. I
bet you weren't on Delta.
No, I wasn't. But you know,
there you go.
Delta. We'll say that for a debate later offline.
Probably it was one of last time you had a cheap flight, because I heard that there might be some increase of flight prices. Or should we talk about it today? Maybe it's a nice topic.
Might be a good topic to talk about inflation. Who knew? No, it was a decent flight. There's some maintenance issues, and then it just turned out to be more and more maintenance issues, and then they had no flights to move us to until later. So here we are.
We made it
bright and early with good cup of Joe and a good podcast to go along with it. Such a great podcast.
Show the people the new hoodie.
The new hoodie? Oh yeah, dude. Get ready. All right.
That's amazing. I think it's the first time somebody wear clothes with my face on it. I think for you the same, Mike. This is
not my
cool.
First time. No, not my first time.
Oh, you have a whole fan club. That's true.
Well, yeah, we had to rock the new hoodie. We're testing out some merch ideas, so because we are one of the most famous hospitality podcasts out there. But again, we'll get
to that in a second,
a little bit later. But no big deal. You guys had a good week, a good weekend. I'm hoping, yes, everything's good on your guys' end before we chop it up into our segments.
Yep.
Yeah, man. No complaints. Let's jump into it.
All right. So I guess we'll just go with who goes first. Nose goes. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. All right. Let's do startup of the week, since that we always usually do what's with the noise first. We'll end on a high note.
We'll end on a good note. There you go.
There we go. All right, let's go.
Oh, I feel some pressure because I have to go first. But for this week, the story of the week is Head Out. It's an on-demand mobile marketplace that helps travelers discover and book the most incredible tourist activities, events, and tour experiences in town for the next 24 hours with discounted prices. So well done. They raised $30 million. It's a Series B. They did a few rounds already before. I think in total they raised around 57. Their CEO, I think Faroum Kana, is super happy with this round. So with 30 million, they can increase actually spending. They can come back stronger. So well done, the team of Head Out and their CEO. So let's see how they spend the 30 million in an industry which is actually recovering probably soon with more activity. So guys, good luck and well done.
Happy Monday. On Friday last week, we were awarded with the top 30 hospitality podcasts in the world. So that is What's With the Noise. We are very proud and honored to have this award. We've worked really hard on it. It's been about a year and a half in the making. So thank you to all those who put this award together for us. We appreciate it. And it's only up from here. Our faces are now on hoodies and NTFs. So looking forward to what 2022 has in store.
What is an NTF? I know NFTs.
NFT, yeah. NFT. Hold on.
You seem to be new in this industry.
It didn't sound right coming out either. It's like something's wrong.
And now we just lost a placement in the top 30 podcasts.
Turn live off. Rewind.
I do got to give a shout out to Dr. Jeffrey, who is the founder and creator of the International Hospitality Institute, who created these awards. So they're doing a big award push for the industry. That's what their big mission is. I actually had Dr. Jeffrey on Slick Talk, and we got to dive into his story, and it's really good. And just his mission involved in the industry is really exciting. So thank you, Dr. Jeffrey.
Out of?
Dallas, Texas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So very, very exciting. It's a growing team, international team as well, which is really cool. So again, just really excited for the initiative of recognition in the industry. It's really cool. Yes, it was a good moment. You know, it was like
you had tears.
A little bit. You know, a lot of my babies were on that list. You got Slick Talk, GMH, and then all the not NFTs. Oh my gosh, all the HFM. A lot of the HFM crew was on that list, and some of the ones that we actually just signed this last week or so were on that list. So it's really exciting to see that podcasts in our space are really, really taking off. So before we get to our topic of inflation and going into, you know, all the crazy travel, budget, costs, expenses, all that stuff, let's jump into a quick message from our sponsors at Breezeway, because nothing like a good morning hospitality without a good message from Breezeway.
Meet Breezeway, the leading platform for property care and cleaning operations. Built to coordinate, communicate, and verify all the work done at each property so you can deliver a better experience to guests and owners. Breezeway syncs your property data and reservations into one user-friendly dashboard, taking the guesswork out of scheduling jobs to the right person at the right time. Teams in the field use mobile checklists to get their work done, letting you monitor issues and progress in real time, giving you confidence that every job is done right and every property is clean, well-maintained, and ready. Smart tools to make complex work much easier. Best of all, Breezeway integrates with dozens of PMS systems and IoT devices, so you can optimize your property service programs without switching the systems you already use. Nice. Breezeway has an entire messaging platform too, for texting automated service updates, communicating with guests and residents, and offering additional services like extended stays. Delivering quality property care and service is challenging. Breezeway has you covered each step of the way with tools like detailed owner reporting, safety inspections, and inventory tracking. You'll drive more service revenue, save thousands on operation costs, and boost client satisfaction. It's time to power your property care with Breezeway. Go to breezeway.io to learn more.
Gosh, my favorite video. I love it.
Slash GMH.
Slash GMH. Very important. And speaking of NTFs, before we get into all the other topics, we do have to give a shout out as well to Enzo Connect for becoming our NTF sponsor, sub-sponsor for round of episodes. And we did drop another NTF sleeping in with Good Morning Hospitality, since it fits the theme of that. So go check out the link in our show notes, so that way everyone can grab the newest NFT. So that way we're all rocking and rolling there. But other than that, I'll hand it off to you guys. Golden. Like
So the topic today kind of spurs from some recent searches I've done. There's a couple trips to Europe that I need to do this year, and it's unbelievable how much more expensive these flights are compared to what they were last year or the past 10 years. Yeah. A flight from Atlanta to Amsterdam used to be anywhere from $1,200 to $1,800. Now the cheapest is $2,600. So flights, and that's from a major hub to a major hub. It only goes up from there. And when you look at what companies have done with their travel budget, they've shrunk their travel budgets. And with inflation going up so much, it's really tough to see how there's going to be a whole lot of trips done this year for companies, which is a shame, because I think a lot of the conferences are really going to be back in full force this year, where we saw a lot missing last year. But companies are going to have to pick and choose what conferences, because nobody has a budget that's 40% higher than they were planning. Maybe some companies do. Maybe some are better at forecasting inflation than others. But I can assure you that we certainly have not forecasted 40% increase in travel costs. So it makes us take a good hard look at what events we are going to and what we aren't going to.
Well, it was an economy class ticket for $2,500 just from Atlanta to Amsterdam?
Yep.
Ouch.
Wow.
Yep. Now, in miles, it was actually pretty cheap. So the inflation has not caught up to Sky Miles.
But what if you buy Sky Miles, so it didn't work out, that you buy those extra miles?
The price of Sky Miles is essentially the equivalent of $900 or $1,000. Like, really not bad. So, yeah, I mean, it comes down to some decisions on what trips you make and what trips you don't, or staying over longer to try and get as much done on a big international trip as possible. So
I was checking some flight actually from Amsterdam indeed to the US. I think I checked Miami or New York. Wasn't so bad. I think it was around $600-700. So it was still okay. I think before maybe it was around 500, so it went up. Yes, it did, but still, it was not as ridiculous high as yours.
Yeah, and I mean that's business travel, right? So every company has a budget set aside for travel, and it's going to be hit a lot earlier in the year this year than prior years. COVID restrictions are becoming more relaxed. A lot of countries have announced certain dates that they're not going to require any more testing or shots or proof of whatever. Which is great for travel, but if it costs twice as much just to land there, and we all know what food and beverage costs and hotel costs and all of these things, like even Ubers are crazy expensive relative to where they were. So it makes it a lot harder for that individual or that couple or the friend group to make a big trip this year until wages can kind of supplement the gap there.
Well, the same with food and beverages. Actually, there was an article yesterday in here as well in the media that it goes up quite a lot. So it's not only the flight; it will be for sure the hotels as well. I think they will just do less discounts. And I think the third thing is that if your spends, right? If you just go out for dinner, it's gonna be much more. So your total journey to move somewhere else will be much more. So yeah, let's see if they want to just get business back. I think indeed what you said, it will be less and less, because if indeed if your budget goes up at 40%, yes, you're gonna just go less and just gonna make the calculation. Same what we do. If some people from our team wants to go to a conference, we ask them, okay, what is the return? Where are you gonna visit and everything? And if I see the cost goes up before, because okay, it could make sense, but if the cost goes up quite a lot, you might say they stay home.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
I was gonna say the one thing I keep seeing like that's gotten up in all these reports or articles is flights, food and beverage, and the hotels, but for no reporting really like on these mainstream articles or anything like that on like vacation rental lodging, any type of different accommodation type. Granted, there's a lot.
been articles on it that expect it to be astronomical this year.
So the summer that we saw with 2020, 2021, are we going to expect that this year going even higher or as high? Like what are those prices?
I would guess it would be even higher than last year for two reasons. One, people can't afford to get on planes anymore. You can't send a family of 4 to Italy for flights less than 10 grand, right? So you'd rather put 5 grand towards a luxury vacation rental in some nice part of the country and just drive there and save half your money, right? So I would suspect drive to markets just continue to thrive in the US and probably in Europe as well. Ross, what are like train tickets? Do you have any familiarity with what are they rising as high as the others?
Don't ask me for when it was the last time I took a train. Actually, I have no.
What about private helicopters? What do you know about those?
This? I know. If you look at it's quite okay. If you look at the train tickets, it's still, if you look at the Netherlands, I would just say I think you have a day ticket. You're just crossing the whole country for $40 or something. You can cross. I think there's trains and go from to Paris. It's pretty affordable. I didn't check it recently. The same in Poland as well. So I think this become more mainstream as well. People say, okay, I would just take a train, or eventually before it was the convenience, the flight were maybe also too cheap, right? Especially when you have in Europe a lot of low cost carriers, so the EasyJet of this world. So for $30 you could fly to London. This might change. I didn't check it recently. But yeah, you might say, okay, then in that case, if the difference is small, I think I prefer the convenience of a train where I can eat something and not have to wait in the airport. And it's also, it's something differently. So I didn't check the price tickets of the trains recently, but I don't think they're expecting an inflation there. That's not what I noticed so far. Yeah. Helicopters in that case, I just know I have my price. No kidding. I wish.
I mean, it makes sense why flight prices have gone up so much. Fuel has gone up astronomically. Labor costs have gone up.
Well, not even just labor costs, but just getting anybody to work in general. And these fields, are like we kind of talked about in the beginning, was that our flight got delayed, but there was really no crew on the maintenance side. It seemed like there was a very skeleton crew for a big plane that's carrying a couple hundred people. You'd expect, a decent sized crew, but no, there was like 2 people just looking at all these maintenance issues. And then, your overall flight attendant staff is very minimum compared to, everybody else. So I think it's just in general getting any type of labor is just.
But do you think that the flight prices goes up because they didn't have the expectation if those planes will be full? So okay, those people want to travel, so probably they will pay anyway for it, and maybe the prices will go down again when they see it, because the end is also revenue management. It's not much different than in a hotel. It's okay, we just probably when they're searching for a flight to Amsterdam on this day, there probably must be a reason for it if you're searching already now. Right.
I was I've never seen a flight like I've been flying almost every month, and I've never seen a flight that's got empty seats. They're all full, like literally all of them.
Lately, yeah.
During
COVID, flying over to Europe was empty planes, so they've got a lot of revenue to make up there. But I mean, it's a good point, Michael. Are they predicting a travel surge and jacking up rates, seeing what they can get now? I mean, I can tell you, I didn't book anything.
But I checked Hopper. I don't know if you did. You can see, of course, a bit the range and changes. So maybe look at the dates if there's more demand or etc. in some dates. But I think
Yeah.
it can be still connected, especially when it's not the mainstream flights. Okay, I think Atlanta, Amsterdam, I won't say it's for holiday, even also the other way around. You don't go to Atlanta, I think, for holiday when you're from Amsterdam. It's not a pretty big, I would say, a business destination in both ways. So might be has some impact. I don't know if you check any leisure destination. Maybe I would check it from Amsterdam to Miami. It was still reasonable. It was around 600, 700 bucks. So it was still reasonable.
So Hopper had an article out a week or two back that said they expect flight prices to increase 7% each month for the first 6 months of this year. So compounding that on top of one another, it's pretty significant. I can't do that math off the top of my head, but it's going to be a real price bump come May, June, July, when peak travel is for Americans, and especially big long haul flights.
Well, we're in month 2 right now of the year. So in 6 months will be 42% increase in pricing for travel. So I guess it
it's compounding. That's not the right math to do.
Well, whatever. Compounding.
1.07 multiply 1.07, etc.
There we go. Yeah, whatever that may be. So either way, it's a shit ton of increase. And the one thing, like, I'm thinking right now, like, I've never been a travel tips guy. Like, everyone's like, hey, I'm trying to book a vacation. What do I do? Do I book on Airbnb? Do I book on Expedia or Booking or whatever platform? Or, all these questions I get. And the one thing I would say right now, just anyone listening, is just book your stuff like today before it goes up, because at the end of the day, you're just going to be paying a lot more for something that you don't really need to pay a lot more for.
If I did the math right, it's a 50% increase in the next 6 months.
I was only off by like 9%, so 8%, whatever.
But still, if I recommend, if they want to have a good deal, I still recommend them to check Bidum.com. That's what I still want to say too.
So just pay a subscription. That's it. You don't have to pay for anything ever again. Just subscribe to life. No, that's it. That's very interesting though. Just the overall increase of, I don't know. I'm just thinking of all my future trips. I'm like, damn, I got a good deal now. So thankfully those were booked ahead of time. What's it look like for conferences in the sense of, like, if you were to make a prediction, or even just, do you think the attendance level is going to be as expected, or what are your thoughts on it? Are we going to see empty conferences? Because, we're doing one in Miami in October. So
before I was planning already, like around those months, like almost the full year. Like, okay, I've got it in March, I have the ITB, then this one. Now I just don't know, right? It just ITBs for March is already canceled anyway, and the rest is pretty unclear. Probably focus right again, probably, but it's so unclear actually where to go, and so I think that's also what's going to happen. People are just waiting really last minute. I think the early bird tickets of the Focusrite conference those days, I think they don't go so quick as maybe years before, even though they're still expensive.
Yeah, I think the ones that rely more heavily on international travel are probably going to be hurt, but I think all the domestic ones will do well.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, the big question is, does it come back down? Like, if there's no demand, they're going to have to pull prices back to fill the seats.
Yeah,
do we think there's that much pent-up demand?
But it will be the same discussion again, right? You see that sponsors, some conference has difficulties with finding sponsors. I just know from one pretty big conference, actually in Forma, they have really issues now because they can't find sponsors in the industry. What you're going to do, then you have less attendees. It means also less income from potential ticket sale. So you mean you have to increase the ticket sale or the ticket price, but then probably less people come because the ticket price is too high. So let's see what's going to happen. But I think some conferences have some difficulties there. And what is needed is the same, what the airlines probably have the same prediction. Okay, are we going to increase the prices because then we're compensating maybe less occupancy, or indeed are we going to lower the price? Hopefully they will book, but with the result that you probably have much less revenue. So revenue management, the same for conferences, is tough.
Trust me, I know. It's,
you're a specialist on this one. What is your opinion?
I honestly, I don't think we're gonna have an issue in Miami or in the States because of the overall, like, the the easy accessibility to get to Miami. Like we did a happy hour event, and we had 3 people flying from New York just to spend the night to have this happy hour event. So, I think, the domestic side is gonna be fine, but, going over to Amsterdam, for Focusrite, like, I don't know how many companies are gonna be able to do that at that price. If nothing comes down, why would they spend more money on flight and lodging, for that, when at the end of the day they could probably spend a little bit more here in the States when they're or the same amount in the States, um, with more possible visibility. I don't know, but
Maybe that's going to happen, that you have made smaller conferences indeed more locally than a few big
yeah,
ones actually. So that might happen. It's okay, you have the folks at Amsterdam probably attract more people indeed more locally now, and then you might have more conferences. I think one of them maybe is Uzakrota. Maybe it's an example. There's the one which is the largest one in Turkey, pretty big one. There's thousands of attendees. I think the coming year they have 5 or 6 conferences in different places. So, and they have one in Baku, they have one in different places in Belgrade. So they're doing it more locally as well. So okay, people probably travel less. So let's do it on a smaller scale, but then indeed do it locally. When
And
they're
sometimes you
actually
get more out of the smaller events. It's
Yeah.
more
I guess so,
personal.
yeah.
You meet everybody. I prefer the smaller events for a number of reasons, but you also miss out on the opportunity to meet somebody that
yeah,
Correct.
is not part of the network. Yeah.
That's going to happen. You'll meet probably always the same people, the same maybe 100 or 200 people, which you see
Yeah.
probably, which you already know because they're in your same area or same place. So
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's we'll see. It'll be an interesting road to recovery for travel and tourism.
So which one you go for sure, Michael, this year? Focusrite in where is it? Phoenix?
VRMA, for sure. I think that's in Vegas this year.
Yep.
Focusrite, most likely. And I mean, really,
Yes. Yeah. I heard
really,
there's a
that's
really
probably
cool
it. I
one.
don't think there's anything else on the.
I heard there's maybe something in Miami.
Yeah.
The Book Direct Show and Destination Air Awards are coming to Miami. So what up? Just
And then Antonio's Vacation Rental World Summit is my favorite events of the year. The flights costs, it's real, man. It's going to be. We'll see where budgets end.
Where is it this year? Because it's always in like exotic, like
It's in Porto this year.
Okay.
So it's where my
Good morning,
COVID journey began. So it'd be nice to like end the COVID journey there this year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, hopefully that is the case, that we're just ending. Like, let's just stop. Can we just cut it off?
You can already feel it. The news is not covering it as much, and people, pretty much everyone's already had it. So
yeah,
I think everyone's kind of moved on, which is great. But maybe that's why airlines feel like they can jack prices up. And
yeah.
But Will, you're the NFT guy, right? You just know everything about NFTs. And I heard so many people say, yeah, this whole virtual land in metaverse and everything, right? I still don't get it, but for sure you do get it now. Do you think there will be some events coming up in the metaverse?
I think it's going to take a while for our industry to adopt the metaverse. Honestly, I think
we're all about real experiences.
Huh?
We're about real experiences, not.
And at the end of the day, that's a cool experience to be in. Like if the metaverse is actually designed the way it is and the way they advertise, which it's not. Still looks like RuneScape in 2003. So if you ever played RuneScape, I'm talking about like the worst graphics ever. Okay, well, anyways,
come on, CryptoPunks. You saw how this looked like.
Yeah. CryptoPunk, and they're like, yeah. Anyways, the whole thing is, if it's a real experience, then sure, I'm pretty sure there'll be a portion of the industry that adopts it and uses it as like a micro event thing. That's not going to be a big international conference or anything like that, but I think it's going to take a while for our industry to adopt, especially the hotel segment. No, not to like drag on them, but when I was a hotel GM, the number one thing I kept hearing was, this is how we've been doing it for 20 years, and this is how it's always going to be. So at the end of the day, that mentality, I think, is still there. And so for vacation rentals, all of our NFT sub-sponsors are in the vacation rental space. We've never had anyone from the hotel world, whether it's tech or any any type of company. So I think this is still going to take a while to adopt, as they're just trying to maintain, all their staffing issues and their labor shortages, and less occupancy, and probably some restrictions due to some brand names, or even some destinations that they're in. So anyways, that's just my humble opinion about the metaverse and hospitality. I could have just gone on a rant.
I'm a big believer of a lot of future things. EVs will be everywhere. DAOs and crypto will be commonly used. I'm not sure about the metaverse.
Yeah,
but maybe I'm too old school, that I like real experiences versus my face in a computer screen all day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I'm just recently 27, so I don't think I don't even want to be in the metaverse, if that makes sense. And my generation, and even the younger one, I'm seeing them, they're behind their phone a lot, but that's because they're usually planning, talking to their friends around the world to meet up and create experiences. So that's kind of
take some pictures for Instagram.
Yeah, the human nature. You can't take a selfie in the metaverse and post it and be like, hey, I guess what, you guys can't be here.
Why not?
There's no clout. There's no
weird flex.
But it can stay in the metaverse. They're not owned by Facebook. It stays in the metaverse, so it's not owned by nobody.
Yeah, and with the reportings that Zuckerberg reported and showed their big loss, I don't know. I just don't think. I think either they were too early or they're not doing it right. So there's one of the two, and I just don't think it's going to be adopted, at least as fast. Maybe in the future. Anything else to cover for let's a wrap up? Kind of a little rabbit hole at the end, but I think at the end of the day,
I mean, to be fair, people still want some sort of experience, and if they can't get it in real life because it's priced out, maybe they will do a metaverse trip, but I don't see it.
What about you, Ross? You got your Oculus goggles at home?
I have a VR glasses, and I used it once, and it made me feel sick, and it's scary, and it's also, I don't know, it's not. If you just go, if you want to see some fishes or whatever, you want to see real fishes, right? You don't want to have which is recorded and it's fake. I don't know. For me, this is strange. And I heard Jordan Belfort speaking about how this whole moving, and I think he heard it somewhere else as well, so I don't think it's his own content, but how things are moving into the metaverse and everything. And then there was one question: is can real estate or whatever, can it move to the metaverse? Can you really imagine you can buy some virtual land in some games, but making it, I don't know.
It would be really cool to virtually walk through the house before you book it. That would be fun.
Cool. But this is metaverse. This is just VR. This is not metaverse, true. Right? This is more giving a better experience, and this is
Matterport is V1 of that software anyway.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Well,
shout out Matterport. You got a free ad here.
And our new sponsor starting next week are Matterport. No, that'd be funny. It's really interesting.
They bought an NFT because you mentioned them, or they didn't buy an NFT?
No, we're just giving a freebie this week. Whoa. We gotta, inflation. We don't want people in. We gotta balance it out. So no, this is really good stuff. And as we're planning more trips, I know us three are trying to get some in-person conferences and some live GMH in-person episodes. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. Probably a topic that will be continuous throughout conversations in the future. But good week, good episode. You guys have anything else to add?
Can't wait till next week, as I'm really proud to be also award-winning podcast show host. So no, can't wait.
Awesome. Okay.
No, well, that makes sense. I'm laughing, but I was super proud when I saw this mentioned there, saw this list. And then, there was also top executives, and I was pissed I wasn't there, but okay, I was just, and I was like, should I send them an email that they forgot me? It's okay, no, but it's pretty weird actually to do, so I just didn't do it. But then I saw actually that we were in the list of top 30 hospitality podcasts. Okay, well done. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, lots more to accomplish. We
couldn't do it without all of our listeners, so thank you.
Seriously, and we had quite a few live streamers today as well. So thank you for the live watchers, the live audio listeners, and that's it for today. So we'll see everyone again next week, and probably a little bit more coffee and a little less NTF talk. So thank you guys so much.
NFT, NTF. Now I'm really confused. All right.
See you in the metaverse. Bye, guys.
Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.